Hello, I'm Aaron, and this is my channel. I do a lot of dad jokes on the channel. I do movie quotes where I take like little snippets from videos and movies that I enjoy, and I post them in a portrait frame so you can see them. I make musical montages using GarageBand and taking photographs and sometimes videos from the internet to create these montages. It's all in their vein of entertainment. Recently, I started creating AI music. So I write lyrics, I write music. I used to play piano, played bass guitar, played trumpet for a while. All, through my teenage years and preteen and up into my late 20s. And I got very busy with a lot of things happening in my life, and I got into other things that I was not having enough time left over for the music. And I stopped DJing, I stopped writing, I stopped being creative with that content and focusing on my career. And then I got married at 32. Well, for most of my 30s, I had a stroke when I was 32, right before I got married. And for most of my 30s, I didn't really focus on entertainment. I focused on raising my son and having a family. And I broke into my 40s, and now my son's 12. And I'm trying to figure out what to do with myself. And I've been creating AI music using some of the lyrics and poems that I wrote for the past 25 years. There's a website called Suno.com, and I've been generating music using Suno, writing my lyrics and creating prompts. Now, for any of you who watch my channel on a regular basis, you'll know that I'm a CNC machinist. I enjoy programming. I enjoy computers. I enjoy coding. And putting things together and letting computers operate something that I gave it instructions in order to run. So for me, looking at music in this regard is basically very similar to what I was doing when I was younger, except now I have an AI assistant to help make things done faster. So when I was younger, I used to do a lot of MIDI programming and sequencing using actual like a Yamaha QX1 sequencer and keying in every single notation over periods of music and then saving it on the 5 1/4 floppy disk. So we're talking ancient. This is like 40 years ago. I did all that stuff. I learned how to program in those languages and on those machines back in the 80s and 90s. And as I've gotten older, I'm watching this technology change, and people are like, oh, you use AI. Oh, that's not fair. That's not real music. Well, people have been listening to programmed computer music now since, what, the late 70s? You got entire albums that were done on computers back in the 80s. That's 40 years ago, people. If you're telling me that you still can't listen to music that's produced by a computer or computers make it unfair, then you're taking away from some really, really talented artists that used computers and synthesizers and other electronic devices in order to generate audio. Now, AI, I understand some people have a hard time with accepting it because AI should not be making music that is consumed by people for profit. That's my personal opinion. Nobody's making any money off of that, and the person who is making money off of it is no different than a CEO at a business that has absolutely no idea how to run the business or how to make the thing that the business sells. And that's a problem because it just encourages people to not actually follow through with the art. And I have a problem with that. So I don't think that I'm better or different than anybody else. I think I'm using AI differently than some people might. I sometimes will use an AI chat engine to help me create lyrics or a poem. But ultimately, the ideas are usually mine, and I just need somebody as a proofreader or an editor to kind of make things a little more polished for me. So I'll have it help me with things like that. I used to ask my wife because she's got a master's in language arts, and that is easy for me to just walk up to my wife and be like, "Hey, could you proofread this for me and tell me if it's okay?" But she is no longer a stay-at-home mom. She now works 2 jobs and she's busy, and she's still a mom. So she's always doing stuff, and I can't just be bothering her, every 3 or 4 hours because, hey, I need some help with something. AI can help me with that. Now, granted, I don't use it as frequently as some people probably do, at least not for outside of work projects. I like thinking for myself most of the time. I am saying that I don't find it